Okay guys, so to make the little fingernails on the feet of our elephant and the little arms too, you're gonna take some white gum paste. You're not gonna need that much because it's a very small area. Okay. And I'm gonna use a icing tip size 2A because I like the size of the tip here, the circle. If you have a small cutter this size, go ahead and use that, or you can use a 2A, or you could actually roll out individual balls and flatten them and then cut them. All right, but I'm gonna use a 2A tip. So take a little bit of shortening in your hands, okay, and you're going to need your white gum paste to get it nice and pliable. And we're gonna actually roll this out. And you don't wanna roll it out too thin to where you actually see the gray gum paste behind it from the elephant's arms and legs. But you don't want it too thick either, okay? So take your rolling pin and roll it out. So I would say this is a little over 1/8 of an inch. Okay, you can see the thickness there. All right. So with every circle we cut out, that'll give us 2 fingernails, and we're gonna add just 3 fingernails to each foot. Okay, so if we're gonna need 3 per foot, then we need 3, 6, 9, 12. So that means we only need 6 circles. Okay, so there's 1, 2. If it gets stuck in there, just use a ball tool or something and take it out. 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay. Put away your gum paste right away so that it doesn't dry out on you. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my blade. Some of you have seen me use these blades a lot. I love these. These are actually made for clay. You can find these in the clay or Sculpey aisle at any craft store. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna cut each circle exactly in half. Okay, there's 1. 2. 3. I'm actually gonna make a whole family of elephants. This is just the baby, so once you get the hang of the baby elephant, you can easily upscale the size and make bigger elephants. This one's gonna have a mommy and a daddy and the baby. This is for an Etsy order. Okay, so there are all my fingernails that I'll need for my elephant. So what I'm gonna do now is pick up one nail, turn it over, and I'm gonna add a little bit of edible glue, just a tiny little bit, to the back. The first fingernail is always, the first fingernail that you add will always be the center one, That way you see it's perfectly spaced, okay? So I'm actually gonna add this to the foot, and you want the straight edge of the nail to be right on the edge of the flat foot that you made, okay? So I'm just gonna place it right there. Put it where I think it needs to go. Okay, so there's the first little nail. Okay, the second nail, again, turn it over. Add a little bit of glue to the back. You guys see this tool that I'm using? It's a medium-sized ball tool. And I actually bought this at a craft store here in town. Again, found it in the sculpting aisle, and I love it because it has that straight rubber edge. And in places like this where my fingers are too big, I like to use it to place little tiny embellishments on my fingers. There's the second nail. And of course, that's already looking completely adorable. Sculpting is so much fun, guys. All you need is patience. You guys see how slow I'm working? This is about the pace that I usually work at. And it's a lot of fun. If it doesn't come out looking right the first time, don't get frustrated. Just try again. You'll eventually get it. Okay. So there's the little foot with the fingernails. Now we're gonna do the same for all the other feet, okay? So I'll try and speed it up a little bit. First fingernail is always in the center. That way your other two on the sides are positioned in the right place. There's the one in the middle. And make sure the straight edges of the nails follow the straight edge of the foot, okay? Okay, there are the nails on the second foot. Okay, now we're gonna do the ones on the arms. So there's the elephant body with all his little fingernails. You like it? Okay. Now we can start on the elephant's head. Okay, this guy's gonna have a little trunk coming out, and I want his trunk sticking out, so I use little things that I can find here and there in my studio to hold things up sometimes. So what I'm gonna use is gonna be a little Wilton gel jar and a little makeup sponge. So let me show you guys how I do that. Okay, so this is the little Wilton jar that I'm gonna use, and believe it or not, We use a lot here in the studio, these makeup sponges, you know, that they sell at pharmacies that you put your makeup on with. And actually it's a lot bigger than this, but you can cut them with your scissors. So this one was cut in half. And I like it because it's very foamy and it lets your figures, whatever you're putting on here, to keep their shape. It's not gonna flatten the trunk. So I'll actually place this here, and then the little trunk is gonna be laying on top of the little foam here, okay? And the nice thing about gray is that it does dry right away. So by tomorrow this time, it should be completely dry, okay? But first, let me show you guys how to sculpt the head of your